Mr. Speaker, the courts of this land, including the Supreme Court, has interpreted clearly what a division in a party is. And I will call you, sir, to act according to your oath of office, which you swore as Mr. Speaker, to uphold the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, to carry out that assignment as the whole world is watching and listening to what position and decision you will take, sir. I would therefore urge you, Mr. Speaker, to act in line with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and declare the seat vacant.
Minority Leader used words that I think he should take back. He said to Mr. Speaker that a time may come, when you, Mr. Speaker, have to do the right thing. Honorable colleagues, our Speaker does the right thing all the time.
It's my pleasure to inform you the Honorable Dr. Sulema Abubakar Gumi has a very important message for all of us. And with your kind permission, I will read this letter. He said, I write to inform you of my decision to decamp from the People's Party, People's Democratic Party, to the All Progressive Congress, APC, with immediate effect. Your Excellency, my decampment from the People's Democratic Party to the All Progressive Congress was as a result of the lingering and unresolved internal and external crisis within the People's Democratic Party. It is noteworthy to state here that the People's Democratic Party have two chairmen in my constituency. Gumi is the greatest party in Africa. Congratulations.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker. This is under constitutional point of order. Although threadbare, although you know why I am standing, but Mr. Speaker, a time comes when you might want to be compelled to do the proper thing. Mr. Speaker, you sit here today as our leader, as the interpreter of the rules of the House and the Constitution, as far as we are concerned in these green chambers. Mr. Speaker, you are aware that for a member to leave his political party to another political party, the constitutional provisions are very, very clear. And the reasons given from what you have read is that he has two chairmen in his constituency. Mr. Speaker, the courts of this land, including the Supreme Court, has interpreted clearly what a division in a party is. And I will call you, sir, to act according to your oath of office, which you swore as Mr. Speaker, to uphold the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, to carry out that assignment as the whole world is watching and listening to what position and decision you will take, sir. I would therefore urge you, Mr. Speaker, to act in line with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and declare the seat vacant. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Jimmy. I don't think if we need to waste time on this to say anything more.
Yes, sir. Point of order on choice. I remain, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, privilege, Mr. Speaker. I remain Baba Jimmy Benson.
Order, please. Order.
Representing the good people of the Ikorodu Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, choice of words. Privilege. Order 6, Rule 9, Mr. Speaker. Order 6, Rule 9.
He is protected by the chair. Please go on.
And I quote, the majority leader used words, minority leader used words that I think he should take back. He said to Mr. Speaker that a time may come when you, Mr. Speaker, have to do the right thing. Honorable colleagues, our Speaker does the right thing all the time. Minorities leader's position is succinct, but I think he should take that word back.
No, I think we can excuse him under the circumstances.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Who is raising a point of order?
Honorable Mark Obeta.
Okay, what is the point of order, please?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Mark Obeta, member representing Onsuka Igweze South of Enugu State. Mr. Speaker, our order rule is here, and there is no order 6-9. There is no order 6-9 that Honorable Jimmy Benson stood on. So he relied on an order that is not the order rule, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to call your attention to it so that you overrule whatever he has presented on the floor of this House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
And I hope you will have more than one. As usual.
Thank you, Honor Carlos. Mr. Speaker and distinguished colleagues, I represent the Nigerian VA Argo of Emmanuel Solicitors. I can permission, I crave your indulgence to lay this petition.
Yes, Daboy.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, Biostat Limited, in respect of his unremitted pension benefits, which the company has refused to pay and remit to his pension fund administrators. I seek the leave of the House and the permission of the Speaker to lay in this petition. Mr. Speaker, sir.
I am Omori Osaro Murphy, speaking for and on behalf of the entire people of Ego Ikpobaka Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Edo State, the heartbeat of the nation. Mr. Speaker, I have a petition here from Honorable Michael Irom Etaba. This petition is against Dr. Suleiman Adejo, the Managing Director of Kino Smart Parking Nigeria Limited, and the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Federal Capital Territory, named Mr. Dogo Aliu Wadata. This petition is for corruption, tax evasion, bribery, non-remittance of accrued revenue to the government coffers, and failure to pay the staff of Kino Smart Parking Nigeria Limited their salaries and entitlements. Mr. Speaker, with your permission, I wish to step forward to lay this petition.
Joseph, who is the committee chairman from the Ugandan Parliament. And we also have Honorable Dr. Akut Opio Samuel, who is his deputy chairman.
On the urgent need for precautionary measures to mitigate predicted flood risk in 22 states and FCT. My name is Honorable Wingan Sesi Oluwaseun, and I represent the people of Badagry Federal Constituency. I'm from Lagos State.
Ahmed Yusuf is my name, member representing Shannon Ogai Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I stand to second the motion heavily raised by honorable colleague. I so second. Thank you.
Namde Zechi is my name, and I represent Ndokwa Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I rise this morning to second this motion of urgent public importance, that the motion is urgent enough to be heard in the floor of the House. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
That the federal government has predicted 5 days of heavy rainfall, which may lead to flooding in 22 states and the Federal Capital Territory, according to a report from the National Flood Early Warning System Center of the Federal Ministry of Environment, published by Punch Nigeria on October 14, 2024. Also note that the identified locations most at risk of severe flooding include communities along the flood plains of rivers Donga, Benue, and Ogun in states such as Osun, Delta, Cross River, Anambra, Taraba, Nasarawa, and Kebbi, among others. The rainfall and potential flooding are predicted from the 14th to 18th of October 2024, threatening both life and property. The House is concerned that the predicted heavy rainfall and resulting floods could have devastating impacts on vulnerable communities, leading to displacement, loss of property, destruction of infrastructure, and potential loss of lives if adequate precautionary mechanisms are not put in place to protect citizens in these areas. The House further concerned that despite early warnings, there may not be sufficient proactive measures such as timely evacuations, provisions of temporary shelters, and support system for affected communities. This increases the risk of severe humanitarian consequences if these warnings are not addressed through urgent actions. The House is aware that the flooding is a recurring issue in Nigeria, often exacerbated by inadequate drainage system, lack of preparedness, and insufficient coordination among agencies responsible for disaster management. It is crucial that relevant authorities immediately implement strategies to mitigate the predicted disaster, including evacuation plans, provision of relief materials, and ensuring post-flood recovery efforts are coordinated effectively. The House resolves to 1. Summon the Federal Ministry of Environment, the National Emergency Management Agency, and the Hydrological Services Agency to appear before this Honorable House to explain what precautionary measures are being implemented to safeguard lives and properties in the predicted flood zones. Call on the Federal Ministry of Environment and state governments to activate evacuation protocols for communities along floodplains and ensure that affected populations have access to temporary shelters, medical services, and other forms of support. 3. The House urged the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing and the Ministry of Water Resources to carry out an immediate assessment of drainage system and waterways in flood-prone areas and work-reduce blockages that could worsen flooding. Direct that the federal government, through the relevant ministries and agencies, to collaborate with the state government to enhance their disaster preparedness capabilities and also ensure the quick deployment of rescue teams and relief materials and medical assistance where needed. And lastly, the House mandates the Committee on Environment, jointly with Committee on Emergency and Disaster Preparedness and Water Resources, to ensure ongoing monitoring and post-flood rehabilitation efforts, ensuring that affected communities receive long-term support in rebuilding infrastructure and livelihood. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
My name, and I represent the entire people of Ughelli North, Ughelli South, and Udu. I'm from Delta State. My amendment is to prayer 1, where he is urging that the ministers would appear before the House. I would want to amend that to say that they should be summoned to the committees of environment and water resources, as mentioned in the other prayers of the motion. I so move for its amendment.
Boku is my name, representing Unigwa, Kolokuma, Opokuma Federal Constituency. I am from Bayelsa State. Mr. Speaker, I rise this morning to move a motion of urgent public importance on the need to appeal to Mr. President to rescind the scrubbing of the Ministry of Niger Delta Development. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Highly respected my colleague, my name is Honorable Mohammed Ang Abbashehu, member representing good people of Zaki Federal Constituency. I am from Bauchi State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion heavily moved by my colleague that the matter is urgent enough to be presented. Thank you.
My revered colleagues, Ofoji Abonsis Boboku is my name, representing Yenegwa Kolokuma Upokuma Federal Constituency. I am from Bayelsa State. Mr. Speaker, the House notes that the Ministry of Niger Delta Development, formerly Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs, was announced on September 10, 2008 by late President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua of blessed memory. Ufot Ekaite was appointed the Minister of the Ministry in December the same year. They also note that the ministry was created to promote and coordinate policies for the development, peace, unity, and security of the Niger Delta region. It is expected to formulate, execute plans, program, and other initiatives, as well as coordinate the activities of the agency, communities, donors, and other relevant stakeholders involved in the development of the Niger Delta region. They are also aware that President Yar'Adua of blessed memory had good intention and foresight for creating the ministry. To him, it was a way to ameliorate the suffering, agitation, and neglect of the region for decades by successive governments. A region that produces the economic wealth of the country and yet poor and poorly governed. They are also aware that years of oil spillage, lack of arable land, and social amenities, etc., have necessitated the emergence of militancy in the oil-rich region. It was in the short term of late President Yar'Adua of leadership from Katsina State that the dialogue was initiated with major stakeholders in the region and militant culminating in the amnesty program that has brought relative peace to the oil-rich Niger Delta region. They are further aware that these were prelude to the creation of the ministry, which was aimed at infrastructural development, environmental protection, and employment of youth in the oil-rich Niger Delta region. Are we there yet? The answer is no. But the people of the Niger Delta believe that the lofty dreams and aspirations of the founding fathers of the region will be actualized some days. Hence, their embrace of the creation of the Ministry of the Niger Delta. Mr. Speaker, the region is disturbed that on the 23rd of October 2024, the oil-rich region witnessed a palpable tension following the announcement of the scrapping of the Ministry of Niger Delta Development by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. This is not a good omen for a region that has contributed immensely to the economic development of our country and has enjoyed some relative peace. The House resolved urged the federal government, led by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to urgently rescind the scrapping of the Ministry of the Niger Delta. Mr. Speaker, my respected colleagues, I so move.
Concerning the issue of South-South Development Bill, and he told me clearly that he is favorably disposed to receiving any proposal concerning the establishment of South-South Development Commission. So I think in light of this explanation, I would want to call on the sponsor of this motion to please allow us to step down this motion, since it is overtaken by events. Honorable Forji.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you so much, Honorable.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. This motion is set down by the leave of the House.
Member of APC. This motion is brought under urgent importance under Order 8, Rule 4. I want to seek Order 8, Rule 4. Rule 5. Order 8, Rule 5. And I want the leave of the House to allow me to take this all-important motion, which is the need to stop the issuance of airstrip license to private individuals and organizations in the country as a matter of national security concern. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Kankara Sabwa. I'm from Katsina State. I rise to second the motion, first leg of the motion, ably moved by my brother, Honorable Sleban Gumi, the brand new APC member. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Order, please.
Sub-rule 2, and I wish to read. A matter of urgent public importance shall, emphasis on the word shall, seek to address any of the following. Immediate threats to lives and properties. If the matter is allowed to persist and not addressed immediately, it may lead to breakdown of law and order, cause serious damage to or total destruction of federal government-owned or controlled infrastructure, a national monument, or a World Heritage Center. 3. Any matter considered to be urgent by the Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the issues raised, any other matter considered by the Speaker. I'm not shying away from that. Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, the issue raised by our colleague is very germane. It's necessary, it's important. But the other question is it urgent as to come under Order 8, Rule 5? And I think that we actually need to consider this issue so that we take only matters that are urgent and in compliance with our rules under this order. We have motion on notice. We have other means of bringing these matters before the Parliament. But to observe that we are overloading Order 8, Rule 5, I would therefore pray that my learned colleague should put us on notice so that we will also have the opportunity of reading through his arguments and then prepare ourselves to respond to this motion. This motion does not fall under that order, sir. Thank you.
Thank you have read. It gives the Speaker the latitude. And I'm sure we have been taking similar kind of motions in the past that are not too urgent, but with the discretion of the Speaker, once in a while we do that. And I think today, because it's a very symbolic day for us, I would want to graciously accept that. And I know why the leader is not too happy for this motion to take place. So please, your point of order is noted, but we'll go ahead and put the second question. Depending on the outcome, we'll decide whether we'll take it immediately or take it tomorrow. Okay? So those is any seconder to the second motion? Honorable Amborura.
I rise up to second the motion that was...
Say aye. Okwara. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable, please proceed.
Yamo confirmed the approval of an airstrip for a religious-based organization in Ota, Ogun State. Recall that in September 2014, a prominent religious leader was linked with a private jet used to convey $9.3 million in cash to South Africa for purchase of arms. The private jet was seized by the South African authorities, which has two people, Nigerian and an Israeli, on board. Concerned that the current experience of security challenge that Nigeria is facing through illegal importation, proliferation of firearms and ammunition, importation of illicit hard drugs, coupled with the inability of our security agencies to pinpoint the source of supply of weapons to insurgents, kidnappers, and separatists that have massacred thousands of Nigerians across the country. Worried that granting airstrip to private individuals and organizations would aid illegal importation of firearms and hard drugs into the country, thus heightening insurgency, kidnapping, banditry, and other vices that are seriously affecting the socio-economic development of the country. The House resolves to, 1, call on the Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace to stop issuance of airstrip licenses to private individuals and organizations, and also withdraw approvals already granted to private individuals and organizations with a view to safeguarding national security. 2, urge the committees on aviation and legislative compliance to ensure compliance. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
This is supposed to be the duty of the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority. So we need to even look at it from that angle. The approval given by the minister is even defective and is not meant to be
because the approval for airstrip airport is supposed to come from Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, who is domiciled with the power to do so. It's not domiciled at the ministry. It is after the approval of the NCAA that the minister can give such an approval. So even giving that kind of approval is an abuse of power. So I want this house to please see how we can actually look at all this. There are so many things going on in ministry, that industry right now that we really need to look into. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. The Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority is under the Ministry of Aviation. So by implication, I want to believe perhaps the minister has then the due diligence by accepting all the, collecting all the necessary approvals before he made the announcement. But however, since the resolution of this motion or the prayer is to order the Committee on Aviation to investigate on this matter, I think they can also take note of that particular aspect to ensure that in the first place, whether due process has been followed or not. So I think we can take a seconder to the motion, or have we done so? Honorable Namdi, in support of this motion, should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to the Committee on Aviation for further legislative action.